Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Mercedes. In today's video, I have swatches from February's Pahlish pickup to share with you all.
Show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet.
Now, if you haven't heard of what Pahlish pickup is a monthly collab between indie makers. They get together every single month and they create limited edition items. A lot of us go to Pahlish pickup for the polish, but there's a ton of other things that are created as well. There's hand care, foot care, cuticle care. Sometimes you get earrings, little trinkets, all sorts of things like that. Each month, Pahlish Pickup opens the first Friday of that month, and then they close the following Monday. Now, these limited edition items can be capped, meaning that there's only a certain amount that are created, and once they sell out, usually that is it. You can't get your hands on them anymore. Sometimes our makers will add more to the cap after things sell out, if they're able to get the ingredients and components and all of that. And a good way to keep track is through their Facebook page, which I will link down below. Now, Pahlish Pickup always focuses on a common theme. So there'll be a common theme for the month, and then the makers will create polishes and items based off of that big theme. For February's theme, it's Fables and Folklore. This is a pre-order, so once shop closes, you will get your items within 3 to 4 weeks from that time. Now we have a lot of beautiful finishes, beautiful polishes, so let's get into the swatches. Here we have Zombie Claw, and this is Persephone, priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 300 bottles. It is described as a plump pomegranate base with black flakies. Zombie Claw, I feel like, does these formulations so well, where you have like this clear base and then it's loaded with these black flakies. It gives you like this very like river-like sort of look on the nails, where you don't get like complete opacity. You get like this beautiful like wash of color on the nail. I feel like it's very similar to like if you use like a tinted lip balm on the nail, right? Or like a lip stain, I should say. Use like a lip stain on the nail. I feel like it's very similar to this polish, where you have like that stain or that wash of color on your nail, and then you have all of those black flakies just swimming all along the nail. I really enjoyed this one. I love the vampiness that we get with the polish, and I love how we get a nice plump, juicy look on the nail. Pictured are 3 coats of Zombie Claw Persephone with a glossy top coat. First up, we have Sweet and Sour Lacquer, and this is Fee 5 Faux Femme, priced at $13, and there's a cap of 300 bottles. And it's inspired by one of the book covers from Jack and the Beanstalk. It is a pale lime green shimmery jelly with pink, orange, gold, green shifts. So you can see on the first coat, we go on a bit sheer, and then on that second coat, we start building up that green base, and we get lots and lots of that shimmery shift. We're seeing a lot of pink directly, like looking directly down. We get some glimpses of orange as well. The shimmer is very prominent in this polish. This is a true like jelly formulation. So my longer nail friends, you may see some of your nail line. So just keep that in mind. This would probably be amazing if you topped it over something. It would probably transform that base coat. Not base coat, but you know, your base color, because it's not like super clear. It's sheer enough that you can get away with using it as a topper if you know, like experimenting with polishes and pairing them and all of that. But on its own, it's gorgeous. This would be a beautiful, like fresh spring mani, especially if you like those sorts of like bright green colors. And honestly, this would be really pretty in the summertime as well. Pictured are 3 coats of Sweet and Sour Lacquer Fee 5 Faux Femme with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Stella Chroma, and this is Twisted in Bed Sheets, priced at $13.50, and there is no cap. And it's inspired by Taylor Swift's purple folklore dress that she wore in some of her shows on the Eras tour. It is described as an orchid purple shade with a shimmery matte finish. So I will show it off glossy, and then I'll show it off matte. I'm a glossy girl all the way, so I wanted to show it off glossy just in case you are also a glossy girl too. Now I built it up in 2 coats, and I thought it was beautiful on my shorter nails. I think my longer nail friends, you may want to do a 3rd coat, so 2 to 3 for everybody. This is so pretty glossy, but I honestly think it looks even better mattified. It gives you this really nice like semi-matte finish, at least on like my nails. It dried down to a more like semi-matte finish, and I feel like those shimmers just stand out way more when it's mattified. Obviously, they're not as like sparkly as if you were to put a glossy top coat over it, but it just has this very special twinkle to it when it is mattified. Pictured are 2 coats of Stella Chroma twisted in bed sheets with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Sassy Sauce Polish, and this is called a breath of fresh air, priced at $13, and there's a cap of 500 bottles. The inspiration is a photo of a dragon, which I have not seen, but I can imagine it's probably a really pretty picture just based off of this polish. This one is a pink, copper, gold, purple shifting multi-chrome magnetic that also has blue-green reflective glitter when in the background when you magnetize it, or just in general, but it really stands out when you magnetize it. So on the first coat, we go on a little bit sheer, and then on that second coat, we are building up that base. So we see a lot of like smoky gray / black. I feel like there's some brown in there too, and those blue-green reflective glitters, there's so much, and I absolutely love it. I think this is so pretty. You guys wait until you see it on the full hand swatch. Like, hello, look at that. You have this beautiful like pink, yellow, a little bit of green for that magnetic strip, and then you have this beautiful dark base that isn't fully opaque, but I feel like that's okay because the star of the show is that magnetic strip. And then we get those twinkling that twinkling effect with the blue-green reflective glitter. Such a pretty polish, and I think I'm definitely more in love with that magnetic strip. I honestly wonder what this would look like if you did it in like the velvet magnetized form. I don't know. I wonder if all those colors will pop through, but either way, this is absolutely stunning. Pictured are 3 coats of Sassy Sauce Polish, a breath of fresh air with a glossy top coat. Here we have Rogue Lacquer, and this is called Nessie, priced at $13, and there is no cap, and the inspiration was drawn from Mr. Rogue's Scottish heritage. This is a blue jean crelly base with green and blue glass flakes and a sprinkle of magenta and black metallic flakies. So true to Rogue Lacquer fashion, this is an amazing flaky polish. I did go in for 3 coats because this is a very crelly jelly base, and it was perfection. I'm gonna say 3 coats for everybody if you want more like of an opaque look, and if you have long nails, all of those flakies in here are just gonna cover up that nail line. I think honestly if you do 2 as well, like you probably won't even see that much nail line because there is so many flakies in here. I am in love with the type of flakes that are in this specific polish. I've seen them in other polishes too, and I don't know, I am just drawn to those types of flakies. They have like this very matte like look, but still very vibrant. And then of course that blue jean base is just calling my name. I love a good vibrant blue polish. You throw in these types of flakies, which are my fave, and I'm like sold. Plus Rogue Lacquer always has an amazing formula. They do a great job when it comes to flaky polishes too. Pictured are 3 coats of Rogue Lacquer, Nessie with a glossy top coat. Here we have Eyed Lacquer, and this is called Fairy Wings, priced at $12.50, and there's a cap of 300 bottles, and the inspiration is fairies. It is a magenta fuchsia crelly with teal purple shifting shimmer and black flakies. This one had a fantastic formula. It has this very like metallic like feel to it, but everything levels off and looks nice and smooth, so you can see how the polish dried down and you couldn't really see those streaks. Now I did go in for 3 coats. This is a crelly base, so I felt like it needed that 3rd coat just to really build up that base and for me to reach opacity. The teal purple shifting shimmer in here is stunning. It is just enough to give you that beautiful like glow from within, and then the black flakies just add extra dimension to this polish. The purple color is like that beautiful like in between where you can wear this in the winter if you're a seasonal polish wearer, or you could wear this like in the spring / summer, maybe like the beginning of the summer or like into the springtime, because it's still vibrant but it's not like in your face. But really enjoyed the formula. Very different sort of finish than what I'm used to, but I thought it was a beautiful polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Eyed Lacquer, Fairy Wings with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Polished for Days, and this is a Salamandra or Salamandra, priced at $13.50, and there is no cap. This is described as a deep navy base with orange, gold, green shifting iridescent shimmer. The inspiration is fire salamanders, so actually a dollar per bottle is going to be donated to the LA Fire Foundation. I'll leave the information down below for you guys. Fire salamanders have been said to be able to both create and put out flames. So in some stories, they are actually fire resistant. So I guess I learn something new every day. But this polish had a fantastic formula. Not surprised because it's polished for days. I love the dark base with that gold green shifting shimmer. There is a heaping amount of shifting shimmer in here. I can definitely see the inspiration in this polish. I looked up the fire salamanders and they totally look like this polish, like just the color that they have on them. They're like this really like dark shade of brown, and they have like these yellowish golden stripes / spots on them. So polish definitely reflects the inspiration. I think my favorite part of this polish definitely has to be that shifty shimmer. I love how we get like a heaping amount, but we're not losing our base color. We can still see it through all of the shifts. Pictured are 2 coats of Polished for Days Salamandra with a glossy top coat. Here we have Painted Polish, and this is Cakes and Crumbs, priced at $13.50, and there is no cap, and it's inspired by the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. It is a royal fuchsia base with a red, gold, pink color shifting aurora pigment and crushed gold metallic flakies. This one had an amazing formula. I built it up in just 2 coats, so I'm going to say 2 to 3 for everybody, depending on how thin or thick you go in with your polish. Honestly, you're probably good in 2 coats. We get this lovely, vibrant, like pink on the nail, like leaning purple, I guess fuchsia, right? And it's just so very plump and juicy. It's not like a jelly or crelly formulation. I don't know, and I know I have a glossy top coat over it, but something about it is just really special. The crushed gold metallic flakies in here, there's like just enough. We get like these shards of flakies on the nails, and they give us like this very speckled look, but a very fancy speckled look. And then of course the gold shifts in here just make this polish definitely look very royal and rich. Pictured are 2 coats of Painted Polish, Cakes and Crumbs with a glossy top coat. Here we have Polish, and this is called Cracked Glass, priced at $14, and there is no cap. And it's inspired by the folklore surrounding broken glass and mirrors. Oh gosh, I feel like that still goes around now. Do you guys believe in that? This is a sheer lavender base packed with iridescent pink, orange, copper flakes and scattered aqua shimmer. So this one had a very sheer formulation. Right off the bat, we already know it's going to be a sheer formula because it's stated right there in the description, but it builds up beautifully in 3 coats. This could have topper capabilities. Did not show it off that way. I showed off as a full mani, but just keep that in mind. I'm going to say 3 coats for everybody. We get this very smoky look on the nail, and then all of those beautiful flakies all work gloriously together to give us this very like muted party look on the nail. It's still very sparkly and twinkly because of the scattered aqua shimmer in there, and then of course the flakies are iridescent, so you know, as you move your hand around, you're gonna catch glimpses of light bouncing off of those flakies. So very pretty polish, beautiful for the springtime as well. And if you wanted to use it as a topper or combine it with another polish, I think it would work very, very well. Pictured are 3 coats of Polish Cracked Glass with a glossy top coat. Next up is Night Owl Lacquer, and this is Bat Squatch. And I just, guys, I did this voiceover like 3 times, and every time I say this name, it cracks me up. It's priced at $13, and there's a cap of 800, and it's inspired by the mythical creature said to live in Washington State, so similar to Sasquatch, but this one has bat wings and a wolf-like face. It is described as a dark purple glowing with a vibrant cobalt indigo violet shifting shimmer. And holy moly, is this a glowy polish, guys? Like, what? Like, what you're seeing is true to a life. Now, I did go in with 3 coats, and I thought that was perfection, so I'm going to recommend 3 for everybody. But we get this lovely, vibrant, like, cobalt blue shade on the nail, and all of that shifting shimmer, it's there. It's like subtle but not. So like you see the shifts, right? They're very dark shifts, but the shimmer is like a glowing from within twinkling shimmer. It's just so vibrant. I can't. This polish is beautiful, guys. Like, whoo, this one, I think this one's gonna sell out for sure. Pictured are 3 coats of Night Owl Lacquer Bat Swatch with a glossy top coat. Here we have Gin and Berries, and this is How the Fables Have Turned, priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 400 bottles, and it's inspired by a book cover of Aesop's Fables. This is a hot pink jelly base with pink and violet iridescent shifting flakes, red metallic flakes, and black to red shifting multi-chrome microflakes. So a lot's going on, but my goodness, this is another glorious polish. Now this is a jelly base or jelly formulation, but I did 2 coats and I was fine with that on my shorter nails. We have a lot of flakies working in this polish, and I think that did a great job with covering up any nail line that I did have. The flakies are on fire. Like, they are literally on fire on my nails. They just look so dazzling. It almost reminds me of like Dorothy's Ruby Pumps. Not the polish, but like the legit actual ruby pump, but with some pink in there, like with a dash of pink. This is going to be beautiful for summertime, beautiful for the spring if you want something super bright or like a date night. I love how we get like the colors are very similar, but we can still see the components, right? It's not like everything is, similar colors and then we can't see nothing on the nail, right? We can still see that this is chock full of shifting flakies, and they're all coming together and giving us this beautiful fiery look on the nails. Pictured are 2 coats of Gin and Berries, How the Fables Have Turned, with a glossy top coat. Next up is Glisten Glow, and this is 3 Little Pigs, priced at $13.50, and there is no cap. This is, of course, inspired by the fable, The 3 Little Pigs. It's a delicate medium pink jelly polish loaded with glowy color shifting shimmer that shifts pink, red, copper, and gold. This is such a perfect shade of baby pink. If you love your neutral shades, or if you're a big fan of pinks, I think you're really going to enjoy this one. It had a great formula. I went in for 2 coats and I was fine with that on my shorter nails. I want to say 2 to 3 for everybody, depending on if you have a longer nails than I do. You may want to go in for a 3rd coat. But we get this very nice wash of pink on the nails. It's very delicate. And then, of course, the glowy shimmer is coming through. We get a lot of glimpses of gold and a little bit of that copper. And then red, we sort of see at like extreme angles. This sort of gives like this very like extra dimensional look when you see those glimpses of a red in the polish. But really enjoyed this one. This would be a fantastic pedicure for springtime too. Pictured are 2 coats of Glisten Glow, 3 Little Pigs with a glossy top coat. Next up is Glam Polish, and this is Briar Rose, priced at $14, and there's a cap of 250 bottles. It is a teal scattered hollow with Aurora Shimmer, iridescent flakies, multi-chrome flakies, and scattered hollow flakies. I'm absolutely loving the paddle brush that Glam Polish has incorporated with their polishes now. It just makes it so much easier to polish. I know a lot of you enjoy the more paddle brush for your polishes. I'm never usually picky, but I can appreciate when a polish does have a good brush to work with. I built this up in 2 coats, but I'm gonna say 2 to 3 for everybody. I think if you have longer nails, you may want to go in for a 3rd coat, in case you have a more prominent nail line. But I love the dusty vibes that we're getting from here, and those multi-chrome flakies really bring back the life to this polish. I think that Aurora shimmer too, we get that beautiful like orangey yellow gold shimmer running across the nail, and then you add those multi-chrome flakies and they give us a lot of color, more color, like they bring color back into the polish, as well as giving us that like mirror-like reflective component. Pictured are 2 coats of Glam Polish, Briar Rose with a glossy top coat. Next up is Garden Path Lacquers, and this is called Demi Devil, priced at $13.50, and there is no cap, and it's inspired by the fabled half-devil creatures of lore. It is a violet jelly base with purple holographic micro glitters and red-orange ultra aurora shimmer. So we can see on that first coat we go on a bit sheer, and I thought I was going to need 3 coats, but I was really fine with 2. So I'm going to say 2 to 3 for everybody. We get a heaping amount of that aurora shimmer. Like, it is just so fiery and electric and just dancing with movement all throughout the nail. This violet jelly base is very vibrant as well. We have a lot of vibrancy with this polish. Now, it's a darker shade of purple, but it's still very, very vibrant and has a lot to do with that ultra aurora shimmer. Garden Path Lacquers has been killing it. I swear, the past, I want to say like 6 months, maybe longer than that, I feel like I've been consistently like pulling for Garden Path Lacquers as my favorites for these videos. Even their collections too have been on point. But this is a glorious polish, something that I would wear all year round. Pictured are 2 coats of Garden Path Lacquers, Demi Devil with a glossy top coat. Here we have Ethereal Lacquer, and this is Ether Unicorn, priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 700 bottles, and it's inspired by unicorns in folklore. It is a sheer sky blue base with magnetic infused pink to orange large particle shifting shimmer. Now, I did not realize that this was a magnetic polish when I swatched it, so I'm going to show it off to you guys, not magnetized. But I think it's very pretty on its own, and from the swatches that I've saw, the magnetic component is pretty fine because this is such a light polish. But this is beautiful. It builds up in 3 coats. This would also make for a lovely topper if you wanted to combine it with another polish. If you want more of an opaque look, I'm going to recommend 3 coats. You're going to get this beautiful, very dreamy, airy-like look on the nails. Very fairy-like. I mean, I definitely see the inspo with unicorns for sure, but I feel like it's definitely fairy-like. We have lots of sparkle because of the large particle shifting shimmer. We get the glimpses of gold and orange, and a little bit of like green, I think. I feel like I saw green at some certain angles, maybe like extreme angles. But that center of the nail bed, we get a lot of glowy pigments. Such a pretty shade, definitely for spring. Pictured are 3 coats of Ethereal Lacquer, Ether Unicorn with a glossy top coat. Here we have DRK Nails, and this is a diamond in the rough, priced at $13.40, and there's a cap of 550 bottles, and it's inspired by the folktale Aladdin and the magic lamp. And the maker's favorite version of this story is the 2019 film. This is described as an ultra shifty chameleon polish that shifts dark blue, purple, pink, bronze, and it has green at the very, very extreme angles, at the most extreme angles. Now, I built this one up in 3 coats just because I wanted to get the most out of my base. I'm going to say 2 to 3 for everybody, depending on your preference. This is a very, very shifty polish. You guys can see that here. So we have that very dark blue base, but then we get those shifts from like that purple. We get some glimpses of pink. And then green, you can definitely get glimpses at the very extreme angles. Like you guys can see that right there, right? So in real life, when you're wearing this on your nails, you're gonna see more of that green than you do see in this video, because I'm obviously contorting my hands so you guys can see that. But when you go and do like the normal, regular, everyday things, then you'll be able to see that green shift. DRK Nails has some amazing shifty polishes. If you haven't tried this brand and you've been thinking about it, I'd say definitely start off with either something super shifty like this, and they do great magnetic polishes as well. Pictured are 3 coats of DRK Nails, a diamond in the rough with a glossy top coat. Here we have Glam Polish, and this is the Moon Goddess, priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 300 bottles. It is inspired by the Moon Goddess, associated with many different stories in Chinese mythology. It is a lightly tinted gray base with green, blue shimmer, and gold reflective glitters. Now, this is a very beautiful yellow polish. Sometimes yellow polishes look not so great on like my tan skin. I don't want to say all tan skin, but on my tan skin, sometimes certain shades of yellow or gold don't look their very best. But this one has that like gray base, and it has lots of shimmer in here. So you have like the green and the blue shimmer, which is the star of the show, along with those gold reflective glitters, and you can definitely see that gray base. So looking dead on, it looks more like shadows, right? But when you are just, moving your hand in regular motion, that's when you really can see that tinted gray base. And then everything else is just amplifying this polish even more. So it gives off that very like gold yellow vibe, but those components sort of offset that and just make this polish so pretty and very flattering on my skin tone. Because this has reflective glitter, you're going to want to use a glitter smoother and then your glossy top coat over it. Pictured are 2 coats of Glam Polish, the Moon Goddess with a glossy top coat. Here we have Cuticula, fairest of them all, priced at $13, and there is no cap, and it's inspired by Snow White. This is a mint crelly base with ultra chrome flakes that shift red, green, gold, orange, and yellow. These flakies came to play the game, guys. They are large and in charge. Now, this is a definite crelly base, so I did go in with 3 coats, and I thought that was perfection on my shorter nails. I'm definitely going to recommend 3 coats for everybody. Like, look at those whopping flakes. We definitely get the glimpses of red and the gold. I definitely see some purple and pink up in the mix, even though it's not in the description. They look like autumn leaves against this base color, and they pop so well because of the contrast that we're working with. Now, I normally don't go for I normally don't go for like mint sort of polishes or like baby blue, but man, I can't ignore those flakies. They are so pretty in this polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Cuticula, fairest of them all, with a glossy top coat. Here we have Cracked Polish, and this is Mouse Ballerina, priced at $13, and there's a cap of 1,000 bottles. And this is described as a dainty lilac gray polish that has soft pink aurora pigments and purple shimmers. So this is a very ethereal, very airy, very dainty, as the description stated, but it does build up beautifully. So I did go in for 3 coats just because it is a lighter shade and I got full opacity. I'm going to recommend 2 to 3 for everybody, just depending on your preference, nail length, and all of that. Now we get lovely shifts of like a darker sort of gray. We see some pink shifts in there. Again, I feel like we have a lot of very pretty polishes that we can wear for springtime if you're a seasonal polish wearer. I love how we get this sort of like grungy base, and then you add some of those like lighter, very airy unicorn like colors into the mix, because they work so well together and they contrast so well together. This has a very like glowy feel to it as well. Pictured are 3 coats of Cracked Polish, Mouse Ballerina with a glossy top coat. Here we have Cadillacquer, and this is The Only Easy Day Was Yesterday, priced at $14, and there's a cap of 300. This is inspired by the Fables comic series and its first issue. Now, this is a thermal polish, so it's black when cold to a white gray when warm, and it's packed with very small blue and orange red iridescent flakes, and it has a dash of gold reflective glitter. Now I did go in for 2 coats, and I know it looks crazy because it doesn't look like I achieved full opacity, but my nails were very warm, or my hands were warm, so it doesn't look like that. But you guys will see on the full hand swatch the darker look on the nail. Now I know this says that it's a black when cold, but I'm getting lots of like deep navy vibes. I love the mysterious look that we get with this polish. The orange and red iridescent flakies, I feel like we definitely see, like you can see them, you definitely see them. They are small, but they're not small enough to the fact that you're not going to see them. And we see them both in the warmer state, so you guys can see that here, and then definitely they pop more against the darker state, not darker state, but the darker look or the colder state because of the contrasting effect. The dash of gold reflective glitter in here definitely gives it that twinkle that I personally love. But pictured are 2 coats of Cadillacquer. The only easy day was yesterday with a glossy top coat. Here we have Bluebird Lacquer, and this is called It Bears Repeating, priced at $13, and there's a cap of 400 bottles, and it's inspired by Echo. Echo is a mountain nymph which was cursed by Hera to only speak the last words of others. I gotta look that up because I'm not familiar with that. But this is a silvery shimmer that shifts to a pale pink, lime, and yellow. It also has hollow flakes and pink metallic flakies. I built this one up in 3 coats. I'm going to recommend 2 to 3 for everybody. This gives us like a very foil-like look on the nails. It is definitely like a silvery base. And then I do see that pale pink. And then of course we get a lot of that lime and yellow shift. That pale pink sort of takes like the backstage, and then that yellow and lime are really the stars of the show when it comes to the shimmer. The hollow flakies in here just add more sparkle and twinkle, and then the pink metallic flakies, they're very sparse, but you can definitely see them on the nail, and it gives that extra like spunk to this polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Bluebird Lacquer. It bears repeating with a glossy top coat. Here we have BCB Lacquers, and this is a soap's Fable. This one's priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 400 bottles. This one is described as a mint crelly with a strong pink, orange, gold shifting shimmer. I feel like this is definitely like a true minty green shade. Now, I was very surprised with the formulation. I thought I was going to need 3 coats, but I got full opacity in 2 coats. I'm gonna say 2 coats for everybody. Definitely gonna say 2 coats. Now we get this lovely pink shifting shimmer, very contrasting against the green or the mint base. These are definitely the types of like spring polishes that I prefer to wear, like the very typical pastel shades, but not pastel, because they have obviously, you know, the other components, and this one has that shimmer component in there. I've just never really been a fan of pastel polishes. I know I probably said that a lot, but I will wear like spring appropriate shades, but not pastel. Something like this for sure. I like how this polish is still on the like light airy side, but it's still saturated and we still get a lot of color, so it still makes a statement on your nails. Pictured are 2 coats of BCB Lacquers, a soaps with a gloss. Next up is Penelope Luz, and this is Murdine, priced at $13.50, and there's a cap of 700 bottles, and it's inspired by the sorcerer and the legends of King Arthur. This is a teal polish with orange gold shimmer and holographic flakies. This one had an amazing formula. You can see on that second coat I got full opacity. I'm going to recommend 2 coats for everybody. We get a lot of the focus in the middle with that shifty shimmer. We see the orange and the gold, and it almost looks a little bit pink with the combination of both of them together. There are a lot of holographic flakies in here, but I personally love that. And then this teal base is definitely like a darker shade of teal, leaning more towards blue. You guys can see that gold and orange shimmer. Like, it is like a sunset on the nails, specifically with just the shimmer. And then we get that lovely backdrop with the teal. Pictured are 2 coats of Penelope Luz Merdine with a glossy top coat. Alright guys, you're going to think I am so ridiculous because I have a lot of, I don't want to say favorites. They are polishes that I really liked. There's like a combination of polishes I really loved and polishes that I want to point out to you guys because I enjoyed them as well. So a combination of both of them because I have quite a handful of them. The first one being from Cuticula, and this is Fairest of Them All. Now, you know, I don't necessarily enjoy like a baby blue. I feel like this leans towards the teal side. It has like a drop of green. It makes it like minty almost, but these flakies in here were just so beautiful. You can even see like the glow factor is just insane. Glam Polish, this one is Briar Rose. Again, not a polish I would typically go for because of the baby blue shade, but really it's the components that are in this polish that are just so stunning, and I feel like a lot of you guys would also appreciate that. And it had a great formula. And Glam Polish has new brushes that are petal brushes, and they're just, it makes application so much easier. I'm not really finicky when it comes to brushes, but I can appreciate when there is a really good fan brush. Sassy Sauce Lacquer, this is a breath of fresh air. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Love the deep like plum shade, and the glitters that are in here are just so pretty. The magnetic effect, everything all together really just intrigued me, and I thought this was so stunning for the winter time. Garden Path Lacquers, this is Demi Devil. What kind of polish pickup video would this be if I didn't mention Garden Path Lacquers again? Because seriously, like I've said this, I feel like I'm a broken record. They have been killing it for 2024, and I mean, we're already in February now, which is crazy to believe, but they have created another gorgeous beauty. This is just so rich and velvety. I enjoyed this on the nails. This is going to be really pretty for the like winter time, and I want to say like maybe winter into spring as well because it has some brightness to it. Ethereal Lacquer, and this is Ether Unicorn. Not one I typically would go for, but I enjoyed the glow that this gave, and I like the fact that I could potentially use this as a topper with like a cream polish with my mainstream polishes because I haven't really been reaching for them that much or at all. And it's just because I really enjoy obviously like a lovely finish. I'm going to leave the name of this polish down below, but I just enjoy components in my polishes, and once in a while I'll crave a cream, but I really want to use the cream polishes that I have, which most of them are mainstream, but use something to spice it up a little bit, and I feel like I can do that with this polish. Painted polish, this is Cakes and Crumbs. Oh my god, painted polish formula perfection, like 2 coats, beautiful, like all the time. I barely swatch a painted polish that I need 3 coats for. If I do, it's usually something a little more like jelly in consistency, but love the velvet look that this one had, and I love the components in here as well. And then the last one is from Polished for Days, and you know I enjoy a like pruggly finish, a like deep olivey undertone brownish sort of polish. Look at that beautiful like red orange glow that this one has. This is going to be beautiful for now for the colder months, and then also for like the fall as well. All right, everybody, that is all that I have for you today. Let me know what you are planning on wish listing. I don't think I said this in the beginning of the video, but you can wish list items. Polish Pickup always opens, the shop opens for wish listing. I think that's Sunday of the same week that Polish Pickup opens for Fridays. So again, let me know what you are thinking of grabbing, what you're contemplating on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.